Hello students, good morning. I hope you all are very happy and safe at home. Today we are going to discuss Unit 2.5 A Play. Part first. It's a drama. It is a very funny and humorous drama. I think you will like it very much. Before that, let's start the questions given in warming up activity. Some questions are asked in chit chat activity. I will ask you some questions. You have to answer them on your own. First, do you like to watch plays? Yes. What should be the answer? Yes, I like to watch plays. Second, which is the last play you saw? I saw Nat Samrat, or you can say I saw Varad Nigala Londonla. You can tell any one drama that you have seen recently. Next, third question. Do you watch TV serials? Yes, I watch TV serials. We know that children love TV serials, or you all love to watch TV. Which TV serials do you like? The answer should be like this. Generally, I prefer stage shows, just like Chala Hawa Yuda and the Kapil Sharma show. Fourth question. Do you like slow moving serials? No, I don't like slow moving serials. Do you like stories from the past? Yes, I like stories from the past. What type of stories do you like? The answer should be like this. I like comic stories, or you can say I like historical stories. Okay. Now, next activity, two truths, one lie. Make groups of 10 to 15. In this game, each person writes three sentences about himself or herself, two of which are true and the third one is a lie. Okay, what you have to do in a group of 10 or 15, you all have to write at least three sentences on your own. The sentences should be about yourselves. Among those three sentences, two are truth and one is a lie. Read aloud your sentences while others guess which two are true and which is a lie. When you read your three sentences, your friends will guess which two sentences are true and which one is a lie. Okay, example is given here. Hello everyone, I am Sonali. I have a brother and a sister. I live in Amalner. We have a pet dog at home. Actually, Sonali, she has a brother and sister. She lives in Amalner. These sentences are true. Maybe she has a pet dog, maybe a live one. Okay. Some other examples are given here. You have to find out two truths and a lie. Hello friends, I am Sarthak. I learn in 9th standard. I go to Sri Deshikendra High School, Latur. I come to school by my car. The next example. Hi everyone, I am Rohit. I am a singer. My native place is Latur. I have won Indian Idol competition. Okay, these are the examples you can write like this. The next activity, lost and found. Divide the students into groups of 5. They sit in a circle. They choose one object of daily use, such as a bag, wallet, box, etc. The group leader writes 4 sentences about it. Lost and found. See, I have found a dash dash, its color dash, its shape dash, it has dash, I lost it dash. Others too write 4 sentences. I have lost a, whose thing is lost a. You have to write I have lost a dash, its shape is dash, it has dash, I lost it where. Okay. Example is given here, lost and found. I have found a tiffin box. Its color is pink or it is rectangular. It has slices of fruits. I lost it on the playground. Others to write 4 sentences about your lost thing. I have lost a tiffin box. It is pink. It's rectangular. It has fruits. I lost it in physical education period, or it may uh, in your sports period. They all open read their lines beginning with the group leader. The player whose description matches the group leader's most gets the object. This is all about the activity lost and found. Now summary of the play. What is given in the play? Just about the play. The given play is a satirical comic story. It is a satirical comic story. It highlights on the current Indian society and politics. In present story, there is a kingdom where everything, whether it is vegetables or fruits, ghee or dates, is sold for just a rupee. The kingdom is ignorant and the king is crazy. This is an age-old story. This is ancient story, very old story of Andher Nagari Chaupat Raja. And what is the meaning in English? Dark is the nation and insane the king, which was originally written by Bhartendu Harishchandar in 1881. He was Hindi writer, and actually the story has written in Hindi and its English version has been given here for your syllabus. Okay, then part first, let's discuss part first. Then what is the situation of the part first? The play starts with the court awaiting the arrival of their king. The disciple of a wise sage who lives in the Ghangur forest has come to meet King Chaupat as he has heard amazing stories about the kingdom. He wants to settle in this kingdom, but first he wants to attend the king's court to pay his respects. The king arrives and listens the complaints. See, what are the complaints? Let's listen. The king Chaupat is sitting on his throne and he calls the complainants. Let's see who comes first. The thief comes first and he says that in this great land of Andher Nagari, my friend and I have been truly hard-working, honest thieves. And what is our reward? Last night, with great efforts, we made a hole in the wall of a merchant's house when all his family went away. My friend peered through that hole into the house when suddenly the wall collapsed and my friend was instantly killed. He was wailing, he was crying, and tells this story to the king. O king, it's the merchant's fault for living in a house with such weak wall, says the first complainant, and the first complainant is the thief. Then what is the reply by the king? The king orders fetch the merchant immediately. Life for life, the merchant must be hanged. Then comes merchant, but he says that, O king, please forgive me. It is not my fault because my house is recently built and it is the fault of the bricklayer who carelessly built such a weak wall. The bricklayer has built weak walls, that's why the wall has collapsed and the thief's friend had died, he says so. Then the king orders, bring the careless bricklayer immediately. He must hang for his fault. Then who comes next? Comes bricklayer. The person who builds the wall, bricklayer. But when bricklayer arrives, he begs his pardon and says that, O king, please forgive me. I agree that I built the wall which collapsed and killed a man, but it was not due to my carelessness. The mortar which I used to lay the bricks was of very poor quality, and there was too much of water mixed in it. It is entirely the mortar maker's fault. Mortar maker's fault, he says. Then again the king orders his soldiers to summon to call the mortar maker, and he must pay with his life for his thoughtlessness, he says, he orders. Then who comes then? Then comes mortar maker, but he also uh, kneels down and says that, O king, forgive me. Please do not hang me to death. I have a wife and two young children. Who will look after them? Then the king replies that your carelessness has cost a life. You must pay with your life. But see how mortar maker explains that it is not his fault. He says that I am not to blame. The pot which I used to pour water into the mortar had an extraordinary large mouth. So excess water poured in it, and I was helpless. It is the potter's fault for making such a useless pot. So he blames the potter. Then king again orders that let the potter be brought here at once. Immediately let the potter be brought, and he must be executed for molding such useless pots. Then comes the potter, and now the potter is standing before the king Chaupat, and he also says that, Your Majesty, please show mercy on me. I agree that the pot made and sold to the mortar maker was defective one, but it is not my fault. He says that how? Because he says that he heard the sweet, delicate tinkling of anklets. It was the money lender's daughter, and she distracted uh, his attention as he was shaping the mouth, and it became too wide. Then king was not a thoughtful person. He didn't think about that, and carelessly he again orders his soldiers to bring the moneylender's daughter, and she must be sent to the gallows for disturbing this poor potter at his work. Then who comes? Then comes the money lender first, and with his daughter. Moneylender says that, O king, please spare my daughter. O king, please spare my daughter. What? She is my only child and to be wedded next Monday. Next Monday she is going to marry. Then speaks moneylender's daughter. She says that, O father, do not kneel down before the king. The king will not hang me. And she says to the king that, Your most esteemed highness, I rarely step outside the threshold of my house. Threshold means entrance of my house. But as my father said, I am to be married next week and my jewelry is not ready. I had to go to the goldsmith shop to urge him, to request him to work faster and hand over my ornaments on time. And the potter's shop is away. I could not help it. It is all the goldsmith's fault. Had he delivered my ornaments on time, I would not have been forced to go past the potter's shop. She says so, and in this way, she says that it is not her fault, it is the fault of goldsmith. Then again, the king didn't think on it, and he orders that send for the goldsmith, and without any delay, he must be hanged. And this is all about part first, and these are the characters in part first. First of all, thief comes, then he blames merchant. Merchant comes, Merchant blames bricklayer, but bricklayer is not agree, and he blames mortar maker. Then mortar maker blames potter. Potter blames money lender's daughter. And at the end of part first, money lender's daughter blames the goldsmith. We will see the second part in the next video, but before that we have learnt part first, and let's watch a very nice video, a comic video, a picture video on part first. Let us watch. Welcome children. Today we are going to read a play which is very funny and interesting. Let us start. Be alert. The king is about to arrive. Who wants to be alert? Life seems like one long sleep in this land. I'm at ease all day, though I'm a guard. How boring. I wonder if some interesting drama will unfold at the court today. It would enliven the atmosphere. I would be equally happy if there was none. Halt! You are a stranger. Give your identity. You are right. I am a visitor here, a disciple of the wise sage from the Ghanghor forest, which lies to the east of your kingdom. What brings you here? I have heard amazing stories about this kingdom of Andair Nagri and the great king Chaupat. I am especially impressed by the fact that everything in the market is sold at the same price. No complications. You have heard right. In our land, you can buy the most rich and delectable sweets for the same price as an equal measure of vegetables. Takashir bhaji, takashir khaja. I am quite happy about it. It makes life easy. So it should. It would be a good idea to settle in this land. But first, I would like to attend the court today and pay my respects to the mighty King Chaupat. You may stand there with those people who are in a queue. Let the court begin. The first complainant. Justice, O most great king, I beg for justice. And what is your complaint? In this great land of Andir Nagri, my friend and I have been truly hard-working, honest thieves. All these years we have been true to our profession. And what is our reward? Last night, with great efforts, we made a hole in the wall of a merchant's house. When all his family were away, my friend peered through that hole into the house when suddenly the wall collapsed, and my friend was instantly killed. I have lost my only friend and partner. O king, it's the merchant's fault for living in a house with such weak walls. Fetch the merchant at once. A life for life. The merchant must be hanged. Mercy, O noble king. I had no intention of killing these skilled professionals. It is not my fault that the wall of my house collapsed. My house has been recently built. It is the fault of the bricklayer who carelessly built such a weak wall. Bring the careless bricklayer immediately. He must hang for his fault. O most kind lord and king, I beg you don't send me to the gallows. I agree that I built the wall which collapsed and killed a man, but it was not due to my carelessness. The mortar which I used to lay the bricks was of very poor quality. There was too much of water mixed in it. It is entirely the mortar maker's fault. Summon the mortar maker at once. He must pay with his life for this thoughtlessness. Forgive me, O merciful king. Please do not hang me to death. I have a wife and two young children. Who will look after them? Your carelessness has cost a life. You must pay with your life. No, my royal lord. I am not to blame. The pot which I used to pour water into the mortar had an extraordinary large mouth. So excess water poured down into the mortar mixture. I was helpless. It is the potter's fault for making such a useless pot. Let the potter be brought here at once. He must be executed for molding such useless pots. Your Majesty, show mercy to this humble potter. I agree the pot I made and sold to the mortar maker was a defective one, but I am not guilty. As I was molding that pot, I heard the sweet, delicate tinkling of anklets. It was the money lender's daughter. She distracted me just as I was shaping the mouth, and it became too wide. Bring the money lender's daughter here this very instant. She must be sent to the gallows for disturbing this poor potter at work. Oh, just king, spare my daughter. She is my only child and to be wedded next Monday. Oh, do not fret. The king will not hang me. You must esteem the highness. I rarely step outside the threshold of my house. But as my father said, I am to be married next week and my jewelry is not ready. I had to go to the goldsmith shop to urge him to work faster and hand over my ornaments on time. The potter's shop is on the way. I could not help it. It is all the goldsmith's fault. Had he delivered my ornaments on time, I would not have been forced to go past the potter's shop. Then send for the goldsmith, and without any delay, he must be hanged.